But this, for the first time, we are witnessing, this because they want to distance themselves from India. Pakistan is being used and being latched on, which is, I think, quite worrisome and troublesome. There are now there are enough voices today in the top leadership in Bangladesh which want to accentuate India-Bangladesh problem. Easy to erase, and of course we come we are products of our history. So in that sense, today's Bangladesh is a product of what happened in the past. Now it's I think in some ways, if it's a sensible thing to articulate that, look, we want to move beyond past problems and hopefully can usher in a new relationship with our neighbors, perhaps who have been adversaries in the past. But I think the question is, on what terms are we going to do that? Is it going to be a sanitized version of the past where you continue to erase what had happened, or is it a reckoning with the past where you acknowledge what happened in the past and then decide to move on? So I do think that it's a challenge now for Bangladesh to decide. And there have been, as we know, in the past, different voices in Bangladesh who have said different things about Pakistan and how to engage with Pakistan. But this, for the first time, we are witnessing, this because they want to distance themselves from India. Pakistan is being used and being latched on, which is, I think, quite worrisome and troublesome.
What does it mean for India, given our ties have plummeted with Bangladesh, and we have been raising whatever is going on in Bangladesh, happening to minorities? We have sent our foreign secretary also from here. Where are the ties right now? And in the current scenario, what message does it say Bangladesh leader talking to Pakistan Prime Minister, and how can we see our ties going forward?
I think it's going to be difficult in the short term to manage this relationship. First of all, if you have a leader who had been in office for more than 15 years, like Sheikh Hasina was, and she goes away from power like the way she went, she goes out of power, and India had invested in her for the last 15 years. So it's very natural that some amount of turbulence would be there in the relationship. There'll be some readjustment to the new realities, and that had been happening now for a few months. But I do think that there are now there are enough voices today in the top leadership in Bangladesh which want to accentuate India-Bangladesh problem rather than taking a more sensible approach and moving beyond some of the challenges of the past. I think the sensible approach certainly for both India and Bangladesh is to sit together and work out, and this is exactly what India did by sending the foreign secretary. And I think the message from India was that we are willing to move beyond the past and we are willing to look to the future. But I think the ball is now in Bangladesh's court as to how they want to engage India and on what terms. If the idea is that that Pakistan is going to be the main partner, and if the idea is to use Pakistan as a way to snub India, then I don't think it's going to go down very well. in India, because India and Bangladesh relations are not simply government to government relations, they are also people to people relations. And so therefore, if you want those relations to continue, which I think we should, then there are sensible ways in which I think Bangladesh government can engage with India, and I think it should be prioritized, because India being the most important economy and being the most important country in the region, if the idea is that somehow you can marginalize India in your foreign policy, I don't think that is going to work. And it also applies to India, but India has tried to move forward, and therefore the visit of the foreign secretary was very, very crucial. But I do think that the next few months are also going to be very crucial, because the temperatures are rising on both sides. We are seeing the attacks, for example, on places of worship, temples, and how some of the monks have been treated. I think that is creating a societal problem in India, which Indian politicians, Indian leadership would find it very difficult to navigate. So I do think that some amount of balance in approach to India is needed, and hopefully that would be the direction Bangladesh would take. But if they don't take that direction, then I think we are in for a troubled 2025.
So my last question would be about where should our now, given whatever is happening and how Bangladesh is taking forward our ties and whatever is happening to the minorities in our country, how should India proceed forward?
I think India should proceed forward the way it has to a large extent. We have extended a hand to them. Foreign Secretary's visit underscored our commitment to a strong India-Bangladesh relationship, and we have also said that there are enough challenges in the relationship that we need to figure out. How do you move beyond that? And I think in some ways for India, Bangladesh has been its most important partner over the last 15 years. And I think in that sense, India will certainly feel that it needs to continue to engage with Bangladesh. But for India, the focus should be on ensuring and watching very carefully where how the government of Bangladesh evolves and what are its priorities, because at the moment there are enough voices in that administration that take a stridently anti-India position. Publicly anti-India rhetoric comes out occasionally, which does great harm. And I do think that in that sense, social media on both sides has also accentuated some of these fault lines, which I think governments will have to ignore and move on both sides towards a more productive engagement. But I do think that in some ways now it is for the government of Bangladesh to decide where they want to take this relationship, and in 2025 will be an important marker in that regard.